On December 21st, 2023, Willis Gibson, also known as Blue Scuti, became the first person to beat Tetris.
Oh my god! For the first time, a human has beaten a computer.
A 13-year-old Oklahoma boy has become the first human
to ever beat Tetris since the game's release more than 30 years ago.
He was live streaming his record-setting 38-minute game.
13-year-old Willis Gibson.
Willis Gibson.
His name's Willis Gibson.
Became the first person to win the game.
After a grueling 38 minutes of gameplay, Blue Scuti finally hits the kill screen, and like anyone who just beat a seemingly impossible 39-year world record, he freaked out. And he was only 13 years old. And to top it off, he dedicated this to his dad, who passed away only a week before this record was broken. And if you think this isn't a ridiculous feat to achieve, you're wrong. Let's put in perspective just how wild this is. Here is a list of the best-selling video games of all time, and here's Tetris appearing twice. If we combine these two games together, Tetris would be the third best-selling video game of all time, with nearly 150 million players. According to Tetris's website, however, Tetris has sold more than 520 million copies across all of its platforms, which easily makes Tetris the best-selling video game of all time with over 520 million players. As of the time I'm recording this, I found 6 more players to have beat the game. If there's any more I missed, I'm sorry. Every time I try to research people who beat Tetris, only Blue Scuti pops up. But if we do the math, that puts us at a 0.00000001347 chance of beating the game. Even if we only take the NES version into account, that puts us at a whopping, whatever this number is, chance of a human being beating Tetris. Statistically, you have a better chance of getting into Harvard Law School, getting struck by lightning, and becoming a millionaire in your lifetime than you have to beat Tetris. And if I didn't say it before, he was only 13 years old. And that's not just to say, oh wow, he's just a kid. I mean that his age means he's actually at a disadvantage and has a significant scientific impact. According to this study, the human brain's processing speeds increased by around 25 to 40% from 13 to our 20s. So Blue Scuti did this with a minimum 25% nerf to his stats. So let's run it back to this clip. I mean, if you just pulled off what he did, would you not freak out? Just take a look at people getting into college. Beating Tetris is only about 1,523,810 times more difficult than getting into Harvard, so hey, let him hyperventilate for a second. But what does it really mean to even beat Tetris? In theory, it can go on forever. Blue Scuti isn't even the most impressive Tetris player out there. He doesn't even hold the world record for points in Tetris, despite this incredible feat. He's really only the third best player according to scores. See, to beat Tetris doesn't mean passing a final level, nor does it mean reaching a certain score. To beat Tetris is to play the game so well, to last so excruciatingly long, that the code itself crashes. You literally play until the game breaks upon the weight of your greatness, and that's not an exaggeration. The game is so old, and the developers never imagined players lasting so long that first, we start seeing color schemes start breaking and changing, and starting at around level 155, it completely crashes. It's an old game. It wasn't built to last abnormally gifted freaks of nature. It was built to pass the time with your buddies.
Put a piece here, put a piece there. Use your thumbs, use your eyes. Find yourself Tetricides.
But the human spirit is to push the limits and see what's possible, and so that's what Gibson and many others set out to do, and the world noticed. But in one interview, Despite the multiple headlines detailing the amazing feat, someone decided to mock him.
Step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal. Beating Tetris is not a life goal.
Beating Tetris is not a life goal.
Now look, I get it. At first, when I saw news headlines all over the internet talking about this kid who beat Tetris, I didn't understand the hype. Why would anyone care about this random person freaking out about beating a game? And why is everyone talking about it? Until I realized that after 39 years of Tetris, yes, I'll say it again, a preteen finally managed to beat it, and the realization of the sheer magnitude of this accomplishment made me realize, yeah, this kid should be on the news. And to you, random Sky News reporter, I'll prove it. We, as humans, are fascinated with beating records. At the 1996 Atlanta Olympic Games, Michael Johnson earned the world record for the fastest 400-meter run, beating out Quincy Watt's previous record by a mere 1/100th of a second.
Time 43.49, a new Olympic record.
Millions all over the world watched, and Johnson held this record for 20 years until this guy beat it by 0.46 seconds. In 20 years, the world managed to shave less than half a second off the world record, and millions all over the world turned in to see this small sliver happen. If that wasn't enough to prove to the reporter that he's worthy, as of 2022, there was an average of 75.9 thousand people working as news reporters and journalists in the United States. As of this script, there has been 7 to beat Tetris. Now, I'm no mathematician, but I did the math, and you are 10,810 times more likely to become a news reporter than to ever beat Tetris. So if you deserve to be on the news, then he certainly does too. And if for some reason you think that being a news reporter is somehow more important than what Blue Scuti did, I ask you, why? When I was his age, I was spending my entire day playing Black Ops 2. I never broke world records, I never made national headlines, and I certainly never achieved the level of talent this kid has. He's 13, they play games, they have fun. While doing so, he's also accumulated 43.5 thousand subscribers on his YouTube and is certainly one of the best in his hobby. These are the top 5 dream jobs for male teenagers according to a 2021 study, 2 of which Blue Scuti has managed to do already. Just 7% of Americans are actually working their dream job, and he is simultaneously doing 2 of the 5 most wanted dream jobs for his age. Most kids literally dream of living this kid's life, playing the games they love and being encouraged by fans and family to do so. Hell, if you gave me the chance to live that life, I certainly would. I was spending just as much playing games at that age, and I got no recognition, and only half of Americans are even satisfied with their careers, and he's doing what he loves for money. Why should we laugh at someone finding success and happiness at any age? And to think this isn't a real job is just absurd. Influencer marketing is currently valued at $21.2 billion. Tripling in just the past 4 years, and that number has been exponentially growing. There's a real potential to make a living and be comfortable in doing what he's doing, and he's already got a major head start in it. But let's look past the numbers for a second. Let's forget the overwhelming odds, let's forget the major milestones completed, let's forget the potential for income and the accomplishments and the numbers, and let's just look at what it really means to mock this record. Blue Scuti, Willis Gibson, was a 13-year-old kid who found a hobby he enjoyed and he got good at it. He lost a parent, and to fill his days, he dedicated himself to playing some video games. He's living his life, he's happy, he's loved, and he's getting paid to have fun. What's so wrong with that?
Probably he'd be proud. I wish he could have seen it. Just like all the news coverage, I think he would have really been proud, I guess.